Shalom, Apostle Tar coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Please forgive me. My voice is a little hoarse. It's a little after 7 in the morning. Just got up, and I wanted to do this video last night based off of a video that I saw yesterday or last night at IUIC, or the head of IUIC, which is Nate, or Bishop Nate, did a video. In the video he said, don't ask me the name of the video, I can't even think of it, but it was on, I believe, I believe it was on IUIC events, and he did it 2 days ago, which is now 3 days ago. And in the video he said that he read Revelation 17 verse 5, and he said that the mother of harlots in Revelation 17 and 5 is referring to the Roman Catholic Church. He also said the image is the Roman Catholic Church. Now, at one time he said that the image of the beast was a picture of Caesar Borgia. I did videos, condemning what he said, and said that the image of the beast is referring to the ancient Roman system, because this current system is based upon the ancient Roman system, which the ancient Roman system is also known as the dragon. And it's important that we do these breakdowns if you know them, because if you don't go through these breakdowns over and over and over again, like as a high priest Ariad did, you will start to how can I say, break these scriptures down, the prophetic scriptures down wrong. You go off a little here, and that lead to you going off on something else. Then you have a completely different breakdown. So it is time to get into these prophetic scriptures, as I've been doing anyway. I'm kind of known for going into a lot of these prophetic scriptures, prophetic breakdowns. Anyway, I said what I had to say, but anyway, I'm going to go right into it. The mother of harlots is referring to America itself, which is sort of the capital of this whole system. But the orders are coming out of Europe, out of England, by the Rothschilds. See, the United States, which is Babylon the Great, is kind of like the front man, the front for the this wicked demonic system. So the front will be destroyed by way of fire. This whole thing with the presidential elections, and whether Biden got in there by way of fraud, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who ultimately becomes the president of the United States. As I said in previous videos, the president is nothing more than He's nothing more than a manager at a fast food restaurant, you know. That's all he is. That's middle management. They're little guys. And Americans in general, they don't understand that. They don't understand, how real power works. And policy is being made behind the scenes by people that you don't know. And you gotta kind of give them guys respect, those guys behind the scenes, because if I was in the power seat, that's where I want to be. I would want to be the guy that you don't know about. I would want to have a lot of front guys. That's ultimate power. Anyway, it says here in Revelation 17 verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. So Babylon the Great is a mystery, because the masses have no clue as to who or what Babylon the Great is. So it's a mystery to the masses. It's not a mystery to us. We know exactly what Babylon the Great is. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Now, as I said, just to be fair, and I'll even, if I remember, I'll put the link in the description box so you can watch the video that Nate made that statement. The mother of harlots, he said that's talking about the Roman Catholic Church. He said the image of the beast is also referring to the Roman Catholic Church. The mother of harlots, the mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, is referring to one thing. All these are referring to one thing. That's America, the American system, the front for the super elite behind the scenes. That's why it's going to be destroyed completely. Let me read that again. And her, Revelation 17 verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery. When you look up the word mystery from the Greek word mysterion, which means concealed, secretive, Babylon the Great. So the mystery, who or what is Babylon the Great, which is also known as the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. There is a term called, if I hope I pronounce it correctly, Hanai attrition. I hope I said it, pronounce it correctly, which means 3 in 1. It's like you're describing a boxer. He's fast, he's strong, and he can knock you out. Well, you're describing the one boxer. You're not describing 3 different boxers. That's the best example that came to me. 3 in 1. So it says here, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. The mother of harlots is America, and is a place called America, and the abominations of the earth. When I say America, I'm talking about the political leadership of America, the system that's connected to the rest of the beast. It says the mother of harlots. Now, like I said, Nate said that's the Roman Catholic Church. That was never taught back at the main school. I don't remember him ever saying that in any other videos that he made previously. the mother of harlots is not the Roman Catholic Church. The only time you can put the Roman Catholic Church in the mix, let me bring this up. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I gotta do it this way. Let me do it this way. Okay, here we go. What was I gonna say? I believe that's Revelation 16. Revelation chapter 16. Verse 13. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Now the false prophet, you can say, now you can say, well, that's the Roman Catholic system, Vatican City, and all the other daughter churches that came out of the Roman Catholic system. Because whether you're Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, any of the franchise forms of Christianity, they all stem from the like the Protestants. The Protestants stem from you go back to Martin Luther. You go back to, which by the way, MLK's real name was Michael King, and his father named him after Martin Luther, the Protestant. The Protestant was a break off, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that's experts on this subject, broke off from the Roman Catholic institution, which they have the same beliefs. Dealing with vocab teaches that there's a virgin birth, and the virgin birth is that the baby, as they call him, Jesus, which is not his name. There was no J in the Hebrew. The J came about in the 1500s. We used to say the 17th century, but it actually came about in the 1500s. I did a video on that. I believe they took it down. But it was during that time period when you had these different break-offs. Calvin, or as I've mentioned, Vocab Malone teaches a lot of the same things that the Roman Catholic institution teaches. So it's not that. So they're all Roman Catholics. They change a couple of things here and there. Yeah, you got John Calvin, you got Martin Luther, and then from them stemmed the various different franchise forms of Christianity. You know, the Baptist, the Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, because they all have the same. They all agree on one thing. When it comes to the Messiah, it all goes back to that picture of Michelangelo, you know, with a so-called white boy with long hair looking like a hippie with a beard, and that's the Messiah. That's the true Messiah, because that's what we were taught as children. We thought as children that that was actually Jesus, man. In your house, you had images, a big picture. In the American Negro house, you had a big picture of Caesar Borgia. you had another picture of Kennedy, and as Yeshaya would say, and way in the back you had MLK. Now remember that. Every black American house, when you were a child and you went to your friend's house, they all had them three pictures up, for the most part. Now Jake through the years has thrown them pictures out. Now you got some niggas that still, you go in Jake's house that got them pictures, man, leave that house. Please leave that house. Anyway, the Ephraimites, these so-called Latin tribes, they got pictures of Caesar Borgia all over the goddamn place. Anyway, it says, Revelation 16 verse 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs. He didn't say I saw frogs, he said I saw unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon, first and foremost, is referring to the ancient Roman system, but the dragon now is referring to who's keeping up the ancient Roman system, the super elite behind the scenes. And out of the mouth of the beast represents NATO and the EU, which the United States politically and militarily is connected to the NATO and the EU. If you're a part of NATO, you're allied with the EU nations, and ultimately the EU nations, I don't know, I can't tell you what the US is going to do to cause the EU nations to shoot missiles on America, but ultimately it says the Most High put it in their heart. So we always say that the Russians are going to shoot missiles on America, some say China and Iran, but you got these EU nations that's going to ultimately turn against the US, and they're going to shoot missiles. So the Most High is going to make something happen where he causes them to shoot missiles on America. And that's going to seal the deal. That's going to destroy this place utterly. They're not going to shoot missiles at the Vatican City. Now missiles could hit Vatican City, but Vatican City is not Babylon the Great. It's not the mother of harlots. It's not the image of the beast. 13 verse again, Revelation 16 verse 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. The false prophet, you can say, represents the religious system. Because what is a false prophet? It's a man that says he's a prophet and says this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and God told me this, and it's all a lie. Now, there's another precept that comes to mind. I believe it's Habakkuk. And now when you read the book of Habakkuk, these are future prophecies that haven't taken place as of yet. I want to read it. Really, you want to read the whole chapter, but I want to go right to the point. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. It says, Habakkuk 2 verse 18, what profiteth the graven image, that the maker thereof hath graven it, the molten image, because the Roman Catholic institution is known for what? Their idols, their standing images, their graven images. And a teacher of lies, starting from your popes, your bishops. When I say bishops, I'm talking about bishops in the church system, your deacons, your cardinals, on down to your pastors, your ministers. And now certain churches, they don't push idol worship, but they'll push a Edomite form of our Lord. You know, when you pray, you picture in your mind a so-called white image of our Lord. And we all guilty of that. As children, when you pray, you pictured in your mind an image of an Edomite. When you thought of the Most High, you pictured. We think in pictures. You remember things because you picture it in your mind. And a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols. It goes on to say, 19th verse, woe or destruction unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Because you have these people that pray to these standing images, these idols, like they're going to do something. It said, behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But the Lord Yahweh is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. So now let's go back to Revelation 17 verse 15. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, that's America. The mother of harlots, that's America. And the abominations of the earth, that's America. What makes it the abominations of the earth? It follows its policies, its religious, mostly political. The influence of the policies of America is political. America is not holding up images of Caesar Borgia or telling people to go to church. It goes on to say in the 6th verse, Revelation 17 verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Now that woman represents, like I said, America. It doesn't represent the Roman Catholic Church, although the Roman Catholic Church system had a lot to do with killing the saints as well. But this is referring to America. When Columbus came over here, what was the first thing he did when he got over here? He started killing our people, enslaving them. He made a statement that it would be good. These are kind-hearted people, loving people, and giving people. He said, you know what we should do with these people? Put them into slavery. The first act that he did was he shipped 500 Indios, people which are Israelites, to Spain. And as soon as they got there, they were introduced to slavery. And then later, so we're talking about the end of the 1400s, 1492 up into the 1500s, and around about, you can do the research and get an exact date, it was in the going into the late 1500s into the early 1600s that they gathered together so-called black slaves. They didn't get all of them, but they got a great number of them and brought them over here to America for one reason, is to enslave them. What they didn't realize is that the people that they enslaved were the children of the Most High. So now they have to pay. It says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. The woman is America, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Now that goes back to the ancient, you can speak about the ancient Roman system, because the Romans did execute James, execute Peter, execute Paul, and ultimately executed all of them except for John. But they sentenced him to a Greek island called Patmos. It was a salt mine. And the reason why his life was spared is because the Most High spared his life. The issues of death coming from the Most High. The Most High said, nope, you're not going to kill him, because I'm going to need him to get the book of Revelation to give it to the 7 churches of Asia Minor, which the people of the 7 churches of Asia Minor are back here. Everything is reincarnated. It says, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Now, the word admiration means love. And the reason why he said that, because the woman was beautiful to look upon. You know, the other nations believed at one time that the dream is to come to America. It's so beautiful. The streets are paved with gold, which the world is finding out that that's not the case. It says, 7th verse, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. So first and foremost, you have to understand the Roman Empire, but the actual woman is America, not the Roman Empire. But America is also known as the second Rome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump, because we went through this last weekend at the street teaching, but I'm going to shoot down to the 13th verse. Revelation 17 verse 13. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb. So chapter 4, verse 14 is yet to happen. These are who? The beast and the allies of the beast, which is the EU, NATO and the EU. When you look up NATO, the US is part of the NATO alliance. It said, these shall make war with the Lamb. The Lamb is our Lord, because he's coming back to redeem us, to redeem his people. And this is why they want to chip everybody to, when you go back to the law, if you were a servant under a man and you loved that master, you would say, I don't want to leave my master. Then he would put an all in you, which bringing it up to date would be the microchip. Now once you take that chip, the Lord will not deliver you. Why? Because you're none of his. Because you made a conscious decision to be the slave of the beast system. It says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, the elect. So the only ones that will make it is the elect. And he saith unto them, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, the whore is America, not the Roman Catholic Church, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns, which now there's 28, 29 nations, which thou sawest upon the beast, which includes NATO, these shall hate the whore, the whores, and not the Roman Catholic Church. They're not going to all of a sudden get up and say, you know what, I hate Vatican City, I hate the Roman Catholic Church, let's bomb it. That's not, it's talking about America. It said, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's also mentioned in James, the 5th chapter. That fire is talking about the missiles. Simultaneously, the Lord and the angels will deliver the elect of Israel, them that are written in the Lamb's book of life, which are the elect. Because the majority of Israelites in America, they're going to die here because they chose to take the chip. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. Put in whose hearts? The EU nations. And to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. It says, and the woman which thou sawest, let's go back to the 5th verse, Revelation 17 verse 5. And upon her, the woman, forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, henai attrition. And the woman the mother of harlots and the woman which thou sawest is that great city. Not talking about Vatican City, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Out of these Edomite nations, which military goes out first? America, because policy is set behind the scenes, and when they say, oh, we found out this particular nation has a great oil reserves or whatever gold or well, like the reason why they were in Afghanistan for so many years, because you had resources over there, so they had to get the resources. So the men behind the scenes say, okay, we got to get the resources, but we got to, first of all, we got to demonize these people and make them look like they're the bad guys and they're terrorists. So that will we'll be justifying going over there and declaring war, because we don't want them coming over here, and the American people believe everything because it's stupid. You know, they did a great job in dumbing down the people of this place. '18 verse again, Revelation 17 verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now what I did was, I said, let me look up the word city.
Strong's G 4172, Polis.
Like, for example, New York City is also referred to as a metropolis, which means strong mother city, from the Greek polis, which means city. It says a city, one's native city, the city in which one lives, the heavenly Jerusalem. Right, that's a city. That's also a city. The abode of the blessed in heaven. Of the a visible capital in the heavenly kingdom. Now it refers to the city as a heavenly city. New York New York City is a city. That's why it's called New York City. I'm just looking at some of the other. Now when you go to the you do a word search on the word city, and you go to bear with me for a minute. See, in Revelation 11 verse 12, it refers to the temple as the holy city. It says in Revelation 11 verse 8, and their dead bodies. Now I'm not going to read the whole chapter, Revelation 11, but the dead bodies is representing the dead Israelites. That's in the book of Baruch. Speaks about the dead Israelites. As a matter of fact, it's right here in Baruch 3 verse 4. O Lord Almighty Yahweh, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee, and not hearkened unto the voice of thee their power, for the which cause these plagues cleave unto them. That's why Jake is in the condition that they're in today, because they're not cleaving unto the Most High. Revelation 11 verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. When you go back to Revelation 17, and what is that, the 18th verse, it said the woman is also that city. So the woman in Revelation 17 verse 5 is not the Roman Catholic Church. It has nothing to do with the Roman Catholic Church. It's America itself, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. It says in Revelation 11 verse 13, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. That's when the destruction comes. It says in Isaiah the 24th chapter, the earth is going to reel back and forth like a drunkard from the missiles pelting the earth. And the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000. Now we know the number 7 represents completion. So everyone that's in this city will be destroyed. And the remnant, which are the elect, starting with the 144,000, were affrighted and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. Revelation 14 verse 8, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is not the Roman Catholic Church, because for you to say that Babylon is the Roman Catholic Church, you would have to say that great city. You would have to say America's not Babylon the Great. In order for you to say Roman Catholicism is a Babylonian system, then you're saying America's not a part of it. Now you might say, well, it's the Roman Catholic Church in America. Nope, it's America. It's America. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abomination abominations of the earth. It's not talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It's not talking about Vatican City. The EU nations are not going to shoot missiles on Vatican City and shoot missiles on it. That's stupid. It says, Revelation 14 verse 8 again, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Fornication goes back to the word porneia, which means adultery, meaning they went to bed with her. They didn't literally actually go to bed with the government body of America, meaning they made deals with America. That's why these allies of these dark nations that made deals with, and they all made deals. The proof of that is they all go to the UN. They all call themselves terrorists and enemies and the great Satan, but they all sit in that same building, man. It says, Revelation 14 verse 20, and the winepress was trodden without the city. The city is talking about America. And blood came out of, and this is parabolic. The Most High is not going to beat up a wine press. The wine press, the grapes in there represent the enemy, even unto the horse's bridle by the space of 1,600 furlongs. Revelation 16 verse 19, in the great city, which is not Vatican City, which is not the Roman Catholic institution or the Roman Catholic system, it's America. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, because there's cities within the great city, and the great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. That cup of wine is also referred and mentioned in Jeremiah the 49th chapter. Revelation 17 verse 18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. When we read that, Revelation 18 and 10, let's see what that says. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, not the Roman Catholic Church, not Vatican City, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That's talking about this place, America, the USA. Revelation 18 verse 16, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Let me read the 17th verse. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? You got Revelation 18 verse 19. I'm not going to read that. No, I am going to read it. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich. How did China become so rich? It became rich because of manufacturing. See, the U.S. was rich at one time and great at one time because of its great manufacturing that went throughout the whole world. You know, when you go to these big box stores and you see a 70-inch TV for $250, the reason why why it's so cheap is because of cheap labor, out of China. So you have Chinese. The most billionaires on the planet right now is in China, are the people in China. Chinese people are becoming super rich overnight. They could have been born into a poor family. They went to school or whatever. What do you got? What's this guy? Jack Ma, I think his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong. He set up a company called Alibaba, and you can pretty much get anything from Alibaba dirt cheap. You get it wholesale or below wholesale. Most of the items that you get, including the mega hats are made in China. See, Trump doesn't want to tell you that. Now, there might be a few of them made in America, but the majority of them are made in China. Your American flags that you wave around and put on the porch of your house, them American flags are made in China. The Moabites don't mind making American flags as long as you're paying them. Let me read this again. Middle of verse 19, Revelation 18, verse 19, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For 1 hour is she made desolate. And what's going to make her desolate? The missiles. Revelation 18, verse 21. And I'm going to close on this. There's a few more precepts, but I don't. You know what? I might still read a couple more, but let's see. Revelation 18, verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Let's see what Revelation 20, verse 9 says. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, which is Jerusalem, and fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. Anyway, I think I said enough. I'm going to say shalom.